every command on shared screen. So we recommend you guys to follow along on your laptop for better understanding. This section 2 will be followed by a short break. After that, in the third section, we'll briefly introduce you to GitHub and cover some Git commands for GitHub specifically. Then in the final section, we'll show you how to host your own web page on GitHub, and then we'll conclude this workshop. At any point during this lecture, if you don't understand something or have any doubt in general, please use Discord server's doubt channel or voice channel. My fellow IMGNs will help you to resolve those doubts there. So let's start. The first and foremost, most basic question of this workshop, what is Git? Git is a type of version control system or VCS. Now, what a VCS is, you might be thinking. Version control is a software or system which records all the changes of your files, of your project. It maintains all the versions nicely so that you can recall any of the previous versions and revert back to them in future if needed. So why do we even need such a software? Any guesses? You can write in the chat section. What I'll do is I'll give you a couple of scenarios to explain you why, to help you understand why do we need version control at all. First, imagine you are making your resume, right? Which is generally a doc or a PDF file. Now we know that resume requires constant changes with time. For example, you might want to update your GPA, add work experience, project achievements, etc. Now the question is, how do you maintain all the versions of your resume? What generally people do is that they make different copies of the file after each update and save them under the name as resume version 1.0, version 1.1, version 2.0, etc. But this approach isn't very efficient or scalable. Can you think why? This is because you can easily forget which version contains what content. Or in this case, this was just a single PDF file. But what if your project has multiple other files and you need to track all of them? In that case, this approach won't scale well. For another example, suppose you are working on a big project. Now, while implementing some new feature, you somehow messed up and somehow you managed to break the entire code, your entire code. So how will you exactly revert back to the working state? Using undo command, but what if you need to undo too many times? That too isn't a plausible solution. Again, what if multiple persons are working on the same project? For all such scenarios and many more, a version control takes care of all these things. So what exactly does a version control do and why is it important? Every version control has a concept of commits, which basically maintains a track record of all the changes you have made in your project files over the time. Commit here simply means a state of your project at a specific instance in time, right? And using this commit, you can easily overcome all the issues mentioned in the previous slides. Okay. TLDR, don't be like George and always use version control in your projects. Now, why Git? Why is Git most famous among all the VCS? Well, there are lots of reasons for this. I'll go through some of them. Git is free and open source software. Then Git is a distributed type of version control system, meaning multiple persons can work on same project without being under the same network. Now, there are other VCSs that are centralized in nature, which requires the developer to be in the same network to work on a shared project. And thirdly, you can use Git, almost every Git command offline without internet. Then fourth, Git uses a snapshot approach. Before Git, the version control system used to implement a used to only store the differences of the changes you have made in your file, right? But what Git does is every time you commit or save your project state, Git basically takes a picture or snapshot of all your files, of what all your files look like at that point of time, and stores as a reference to that snapshot. Okay. In more detail, when you make a commit, Git doesn't store all your actual files, but what it does, hashes your file content and store those as reference in Git repository. A commit typically contains metadata such as hash, reference to its previous commit, who made the commit, when was the commit made, and etc. Don't worry, Drumel will discuss all these in detail in the next section of this workshop. Again, some of the other VCSs, other less or relatively less famous VCSs are Subversion, Mercurial, Git workflow. Now I'll describe what a typical workflow looks like in a project where you'll be using Git as a version control. What happens when you use Git in your project? First of all, you initialize a Git repository using git init command. Again, all this command will be shown to you practically and live by Drumel in the next section. So don't worry about what git init is, etc. Using what git init does is that it virtually divides your project into three parts: working tree, staging area, and Git repository. After this, you can create after git init, you can create any number of commits or snapshot or versions or checkpoints which you can refer to in future. Now, what's working tree? Working tree is simply your entire project. Git will entire project directory. Git will watch all the files in the working tree and detect every change you make. Okay. Then comes staging area. You make your relevant changes to all the files you need for any feature you are implementing or anything. Now, when you want to save those changes as a commit permanently, what you'll have to do is you have to first add the files from working tree to staging area using the git add command. This staging area is only for reviewing your work so that you don't commit unnecessary files. Then once you are satisfied with the files you have added in the staging area, you commit them permanently using the git commit command. Important thing to note here is that this middle step of staging area is not present in many other VCSs. Then comes Git repository. Git repository is a hidden folder which gets initialized when you execute git init command. This hidden folder only contains all the project information. Most likely, you won't be required to open this directory since it contains only implementation details as to how Git works under the hood. For those who are curious to know Git's internal working, we'll provide you a reference block in the post-workshop materials on Discord resources channel. So if you delete this .git folder, then not even version control can help you out at that point. So don't delete this. Now to summarize Git workflow, which I just described, first you initialize a Git repository in your project using git init. Then you make necessary changes to your files in the working tree and move the relevant files in the staging area that you want to commit using git add command. And then finally, you commit those changes permanently in your Git repository using git commit command. Now, as I mentioned before, Drumel will explain all these basic Git commands that I just described and many other on a shared screen. So let's get started. Drumel.
Hi everyone. So hope everyone is clear about the previous session. Now let's continue with Git commands. You can code along with me and I would surely recommend it. So So first is git init. Git init. This is one of the magical command which can convert your directory into a Git repository. As explained in previous section, that the hidden Git folder is the heart of Git. It consists of all the required data to make a Git work. So what actually Git does is that it it makes an every file into three states. Every file in Git can be of the following three states. It can be a modified, a stage, or a committed file. So you can code along with me, and I will create a sample project which will help you to clear about the Git commands. Yes, if it's visible, so that's my terminal, and probably you have installed a Git bash as explained in the blog which Nisarg have shared. So first of all, let us make a directory. Let's name it GitHub Workshop. Okay, so these are the following two commands which can be termed as a mkdir. So mkdir is a bash command which states that make directory. Directory is actually folders in the directory is a concept of Linux which is similar to folders. So the mkdir stands for the make directory, and the cd stands for the change directory. So first of the command mkdir makes a git workshop directory named git workshop, and we moved into it. Then git workshop. So let's init with git init function. What it does, it initialize an empty git repository. So as explained by Nisar, that git init the .git folder is actually the heart of Git. So if you can see, if you use the ls command, the ls command is actually to list down all the files and the folders. So if you ls the command, you can't view the .git folder, but because it's hidden, so you can use ls-a command, which actually views the .git folder. So what .git consists of? So let's do cd and check it. The .git consists of the following things, which consist of branches information, objects information, and references. And there are other components which are used by Git and which is not even learned, which is not even shared. The details are not even shared with us. So one of the next command is git status. The git status is the one of the command which help us to diagnose the current state of the directory. It can help us to view Git. This is one of the command which helps us to diagnose the current state of a directory. It can help us to view Git working tree as well as the staging area. So I will explain this command as I will go through the other parts of the lecture. Okay, so some other git add commands. Git add command is it helps you to move your current directory, current working directory into Git staging area. So let's have it. So actually the touch command, it creates a file named readme.md. So MD file. So if you know, it's MD stands for the markdown file. So markdown is a kind of an extension for the type of a text files. So you can view the readme file using the any editor which you can use. I would recommend Sublime Text if it's not installed. Okay, so let's head. Let's save it. So as you can see that I have changed the readme.md file, and it consists of the hello world command. You can view through it here. And as explained before, that git status help us to show the untracked or the git working tree. You can view it using this following command, git status. Hello. As you can see that there's an untracked file. As explained before, that Git makes the Git consists of tree directory as well as what is staging area and a committed repository. So the untracked files is the one of the component of a working tree. Okay, so next we will use a git add command. So what the git add command does, it moves your current working tree into the staging area. So how we can view the staging area? One of the commands which we can use is git status. So as you can see that it is written that changes to be committed. It's the point of staging area where you can review the changes which should be committed to the next level. Okay. So now we will go through the another command known as a git commit. Git commit. So git commit captures a snapshot of the current staging area and stores into the repository and gives it an identity, also known as a commit hash. So as explained in the previous section that we see as the Git works on the principle of snapshots. What are snapshots? Snapshots are basically the snapshot of the present working tree. Working tree. So actually, so the snapshot consists of many things, ranging from authors, the date, the contents, and the message that explain the purpose of the commit. So, as explained before, that we have added the changes into the staging area, and now let's commit it with a great message. As we can view that we have created a commit named which shows the method add hello world to the readme file. So another helpful command is git log. What git log does is that help us to list down the commits in a reverse chronological order. So if we do the git log, you can view that we have created a commit with the following message, and then author is the following. And you can also view the timestamp or the date which we have created the commit. So everyone is requesting to go slow. Is it correct? Okay. Hi everyone. So I will explain one of the another commands that git add and the git status. Let's make some more changes in the README file. Okay, so as we have changed the README file, the changes are saved in the working tree, but we have to move it to the staging area. We are moving it to the staging area. You can view the particular working tree using the git status command. Okay, and you can see the changes not stage or for committed. Okay, so now what we will do, we will git add. We will git add and we will move the readme file, the changes in the readme file into the staging area. And then the process is that we have to commit. What does the commit stand for? Commit stands for the commit. So as explained before, the commit is basically the snapshot of the current staging area. As we have added the changes into the staging area, what is the process? If we will commit it. Okay, so let's view the Git log. As you can see that I have explained before that we are actually but the logs are almost stored in a reverse chronological order. The first message is the add hello world is there. Mostly the commits are in a reverse chronological order. Okay.
Excuse me, Drumil.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
I see we are having many doubts, so that because of the speed, Sublime text issues, terminal, some are having permission denied error, etc. So,
Okay.
Drumil, if possible, can you please just restart this entire section from scratch and go, malab, on
Okay. We will take us couple minutes of break so they can solve the Sublime text and other issues.
no,
Okay.
right now they aren't following along with you. That's the issue.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay.
So I'll just clear out the common doubts. If you
Okay.
don't have Sublime Text or any text editor, or Windows, you can even use Notepad, and for Linux user you can use gedit or any other inbuilt editor. README file, Markdown file is just a enhanced text file, nothing else. So you don't have to worry about this.
Okay. So I will restart the section if it's
Yes.
possible. Okay.
Yes, Drumel will create another new directory and just start this section again. Again, sorry for the speed, guys. If you can again, if you find speed still fast, you can go on and let us know in the chat section. Yes, you can use Notepad instead of. No, README is just a file. README.md is a file. In Notepad, you have to create that file. Okay. Yes. Drumel, you can continue now from start.
Is everyone okay? And should I begin it again? So mkdir get workshop. So what actually this command is, it makes a directory namingly get workshop. So the directory is basically basically folders. So you can use the cd command to move into the git workshop directory. Okay. And then you can use git init command. Can we get back to earlier position? So git init. So git init is basically the one of the magical commands which can convert your directory into a Git repository. So as explained in previous section, that Git repository is one of the important uh, directory which helps Git to work more. So there are some permission denied error. So can you please join the voice channels so they can help you to resolve that particular error? So git init. So git init is basically the step which makes your normal directory into a Git repository. So let's view the .git folder and what it contains. It contains the following components. Okay. So now let's move into the another git command known as a git status. The git status is the one of the command which helps you to diagnose the current state of the directory, and it can help us view the git working tree as well as the git staging area. So as explained in the before, that Git has three sections. The first is uh, the working tree. The second consists of the staging area, and the third consists of the Git repository. Okay. So Git status can help us to view the current working tree, and then it can also help us to view the Git staging area. Okay. So let's move into the next command known as a git add command. So what git add command does is actually move your current working tree into the staging area. Okay. So for as explained before, the current working tree is the current changes which are existing in the directory, and what it does is that it moves into the staging area as explained before. So you can refer this diagram. So the working tree consists of almost all the changes, and then we did the git add command, which moves into the stage, the middle step, which helps get to differentiate it, and we review the code there, and then after, if the code is good for the changes are declared good, then we can get committed into and move it to the repository section. Okay. So what git add commands does is actually move the current working tree. The current working tree stands that all the changes, whether it consists of addition, whether it consists of deleting files, or whether it also consists of the edited files, it moves the current working tree, the changes, into the staging area. So I will give you a sample about it. Let, for example, touch, we uses a bash command known as touch. So what does the touch does is actually creates a readme file. It creates a readme file, readme.md file. You can view that using the ls command. As you can see, the md file is not is a kind of an extension over the normal text files. Okay. If it's unclear, just ask the doubts in Discord server. So now, as we have touched the readme file, let us change it. You can use here your favorite editor. Probably you can use the notepad too. This is the Sublime text. Okay. Now you can see the changes with the git status. As explained before, the untracked files are basically untracked. As you can see that there's a message untracked files, and this untracked file is basically the working tree which I explained before, and which consists of all the changes which are not yet into the staging area, not into the middle step. It's in the one of the base level. Okay. So the changes in the readme file are in the untracked, the working tree. So what we will do is like we will git add readme changes so that we can move them into the staging area. Okay. And then to view the staging area, you can view the git status again, and it shows that the changes to be committed and a new file is created, namely readme file. So what actually it does, it moves our working tree, the changes in the readme file, into the staging area. Okay. Now let's move into the next step. The next step, which moves our changes in the staging area into the repository level. Okay. The git commit, as explained before, as Nisarg explained that the repository, the git works on the principle of taking snapshot. The snapshot is like, so what git commit does, it creates a snapshot of the current staging area and stores into the repository and give it an identity, also known as a commit hash. Commit hash is basically the identity, the ID of the commit. The snapshot consists of data such as author, timestamp, contents, and message that explain the purpose of the commit. So, as explained in previous step, that we have moved the changes in the README into the staging area. Now let's commit it. Okay. So after the commit step, you can actually view the you can view either the working tree or the staging area using the get status command. But as you can see, there's nothing to commit. So everything is committed, and the hash is stored. The snapshot has been taken and it's put into the repository. So we can view the commits using the get log, and you can see here that we have created a hash. Hash is basically the identity of that particular commit. And we, as explained before, that it consists of the metadata such as author, the date, and a message which explains the purpose of the commit. Okay. Okay. So now, as explained before, that we can use the getlog command to view the we can use the getlog command to view the list of the commits in a reverse chronological order. So let's add some new commits so it's easy to understand. So as we have changed the readme MD file, this is basically this change is presently consisted in the working tree. So what we will do, we will add them and move it to the staging area. Okay. So if you get status again, you can see that it's again the same message, the changes to be committed. And now rather than being the new file, it is basically the modified readme file. Okay. So now we will commit it again. We will commit it again. So now if we can use the git log command to view the commits. The one of the other ways to view the commits is the git log, and there is a short form known as one line, which basically removes all other metadata but just consists of the ID and the commit message, which has helped us to store the commit. Okay. So now let us move to the other command known as the get diff. Get diff can help us to show changes between commits, the working tree, as well as the staging area. So let's update it and update the readme file. Now, as explained before, we can use the diff command to show the working tree. So the get diff, the normal get diff helps you to identify the changes in the working tree. Then you can use. Then let's move it. Then let's move all the changes in the README file to the staging area, and then you can use the get diff stage command to view the current, what we say, the current staging area. Okay. So this way you can see the changes in the working tree as well as the changes into the staging area. Okay. And another command is known as the git reset command. The git reset command helps you to revert back to any particular previous commit. As explained in the previous section, the Nisak explained that one of the most important principle and one of the most important thing in VCS is that we can revert back to any particular commit and any particular commit in the history. So for example, I want to move from version 3.1 to version 1. I can easily move using the git reset command. So the git reset command uh, basically consists of the following types of resets. The soft reset. The soft reset is basically reverting your repository to a given commit, and all the intermediary changes are moved to the staging area. So let's move it. As you can presently view that, let's commit that previous step. So you can presently view the git log command, and you can see that there are three commits existing. One is the add college to, add hi message, and add hello world. Okay. So let's use a soft reset in a way. So one of the ways is that you can use the git log one line, copy the hash where we want to where we have to revert the commit, copy it, and git reset soft and the identity of the commit. Okay. So now as you can see, if we git log it, we are we just we don't we presently have just only two commits. Okay. The one is the high message, and as you can see, the add college to the readme md file has been gone. So where is actually where the commit is actually? It's basically stored in the staging area. As explained in the following command, we can view the staging area using this. And as I explained before, this particular message has been stored into the staging area. So uh, this way we can do a soft reset, and the soft reset will just only convert which will revert back to a particular commit, and all the changes between the middle commits are stored into the staging area. And one of the other ways of doing the reset is known as a hard reset. So what does a hard reset means is like reverting back to a particular commit, and all the changes between the commits are permanently removed. So let's move to another file. As you can see that basically there are uh, two commits presently here. What we will do, we will revert back into the one of the first commit, which we added the head hello world. So what we will do, it's like copy it and git reset. So we are at add hello world to the readme, the first commit which we did. So if we git log, you can view we have just one commit. And using the get status command, we can check the working tree as well as the staging area, and you can view that there are no data in the staging area, neither as well in the working tree. So all the changes, like we just added the high message to it, has been removed and permanently gone. So this is the one of the most like uh, one of the most risky commands like in the Git, where all the steps are removed for permanently. So now it comes with the next principle, the branches. As explained before, the Git is decentralized.
हाँ
It works on the
द्रुमिल
principle.
द्रुमिल हाँ
Hello.
we will wait for ऐसे 15 to 20 minutes, since a lot of people are not following along with you right now because they're having
Okay.
too many doubts.
Okay.
Huh. Yes, हाँ प्रद्युम्न आ रही है आपकी आवाज.
Hello.
हाँ प्रद्युम्न.
मेरी वेबएक्स पे आ रही है ना आवाज?
हाँ हाँ आ रही है.
कर मुझे प्रेजेंट करना. ध्रुमिल एक बार अपना वो ऑफ कर सकते हैं स्क्रीन? Hello guys, myself Pradyuman. I am from Applied Mathematics 4th year. So actually Drumil and Nisarg are pro members of IMG. So I will try to recap this whole thing in the way I understood at the time of when I was learning. So let's get started. First of all, Git is not a language or something like that. It is just a tool that is used to manage your projects or anything. Let's say whenever you work on a computer, you must have saved your files like first of all report.document, after that final report.document, and after that final report.document. So what you do, you make different copies of your report, and then you just keep a track using that. So it's just simply a report. Even after then, it's a lot of hassle. But when we start working on a project which contains multiple and I should say hundred of files at a very small level, then keeping track of your files according using this thing is like pretty much inconvenient. So in that case, Git is used as a tool which through which what you can do is like you have done till a point. Like if you have played your games, you have seen that you can save your game at a particular checkpoint. So the same thing Git does for you. Like you have coded something, you have made something, you have added some feature, and you can save your whole progress at that point of time. So that's the basic use of Git. So first of all, Git is a tool and not a programming language. So it's not you can write it in your VS Code or something. It's like a software as you use Word or that is a software. In the same way, Git is a software. So it is used to track your other files. So like, let me show you how that command works. So first of all, like, don't get alienated while seeing the terminal. It's just a simple GUI thing. I will start showing you with the GUI also. Like, let's say this is my desktop, and here I start a new project. Like, now this directory is open in my terminal. Okay. Now this is a directory where I will be coding my whole project. So, and I know, okay, let me increase its text size. I think it must not be visible from there. Okay, so this is my directory. So first of all, we need to make the software get aware that this is a directory that I want to keep track. So it's just a simple command, git init. Now what does it do? It makes a new folder. Say this is a .git folder. So we will not go into this. It is just the software use this folder to track all the files. Now let me like, let us say I added a simple text file. So touch is just a command to make a text file. So here you can see the text file is created. Okay. So let's understand this text file. Okay, like, this is a text file. You can edit it using any software. I generally use Vim for using that. You can just edit this file in Sublime Text or Notepad, anyways, like in normal GUI. Okay, so let's understand this text file as my project. Now what I do is I add a new feature. Let's say writing this, I have added a new feature in my project. Okay, so like, I can show the content of this file is feature one. Okay, now Drumil, can you message me what all commands are you teaching? Okay, so like, let me continue. So first of all, now this feature is just in your project. Okay, like, so if there is any project, so this feature is visible in your project. Now what you want to do, this feature is like working. Okay, now you want to like that I said, using the using the game comparison, you now want to checkpoint this thing at a particular moment. Okay, so so while saving a feature, what you need to do is you first need to add this uh, like like, understand it like a gift box. Okay, so there is a box. Okay, and you are, let's say you are adding some things there, like you add a cake, you add an apple. So understand that gift box is like a staging area. Now using this command, git add hello.txt, it's like I have kept hello.txt into a gift box. Let's say I create a new file here, and another new file. Okay, now if you see, there is a table in your gift box, there is hello.txt and temp.txt and garbage.txt are outside that box. Okay. Now let's say I also add temp.txt. Okay. So like using git status, you can see what's inside that cake box. So here you can see these two files. It is written here, changes to be committed. These two new files, hello.txt and temp.txt, and this is untracked file. Means this file is not made available to that box. Okay. Now let's say you want to log that gift box. Okay. So I'm just clearing my screen. So for that we use git commit. So are you understanding, like in a like there's a staging area where we have kept this file. Okay. And we can see, and after that we can merge, we can wrap that whole thing in one commit. Like one commit is a kind of a snapshot at that moment. मेरी स्क्रीन फ्लिकर कर रही है क्या बीच में? Okay, so like let's say I make a commit message at feature 1. So now the scenario is these two files are in that gift box that is wrapped and committed, and the garbage.txt file is outside. So it's not in our history. Okay, so we are on. We have done git init, git status, git add, git commit, and now like we need to see what all commits we have done. So there is a command that's git log that tell you, like, now you see there is one box. Now let's say I am editing my file. I've added a new feature here. Okay, now this feature is working fine. I will add this again. Let's see the git status. So garbage.txt is still outside, and the modified version of hello.txt, we have like it's a separate box. Do not compare it with the old box that is wrapped and kept aside. Okay, so we have added this, and I will now commit this. So if I see the log, you will see there is first commit that is add feature 1, and then there is second commit that is add feature 2. Okay, and you will see that it is in a reverse chronological order. Like I've committed the feature 2 at the end, so it is on the top. Because like you can understand, when you are building a project, the latest checkpoint is most important for you when you are viewing it. You will need not to see the first commit at any point. I mean, it will be less useful for you while seeing it. Okay, so that's how we go with git log, git commit. Okay, so let's say I edit that file and add a new feature. Okay, and I added some more file. I will insert. Okay, and let's say I've added many of the files. Now I want to see like now I'm committing and committing things. So I want to see what all changes I've done till now. So git diff command will do that for you. So like you can see here that what I have changed in, like in hello.txt, you can see it is in green color, that like this line is added. So if it is different, it will also show you if there is some removal. Like now I've removed feature 2, and now if I run git diff, you can see that this line has been removed and this line is added. Okay, so that's how git diff works. Okay, git diff. Okay, now let's say I commit this thing also. Okay, let's see what's in the staging area first. Okay, so this thing is untracked, and I have added this. I have modified this new file. which I will be committing now. Okay, and now let's say by mistake I've added some wrong feature or say some bug in my project, and I have committed that thing. And now, like with the working, I get to know that I've done that thing wrongly. Okay, so now I know that at this commit I've added that new bug. Until that commit, everything was working fine. So I want to, like, that's the point of whole version control, right? Like if you have at some point, if you have added something wrong, you want that to revert back. So for that we can use the git reset command. So this commit message, this commit hash, this is a unique code that is used to identify a commit. And like you can now, let me show you, like now our hello.txt look like this. Okay, and now I am resetting. I have resetted my whole directory to one commit back till when I have not added that bug. So now if I show you, see this this the latest change is automatically removed. Mostly that was the recap that was done till now. Now I think you have a better understanding. So Dromil will continue from here, and I hope now it will be easy to you to go along. Please continue. Dromil, continue.
Should we guys wait for you before starting the third GitHub section, or should we continue? Okay, I'll continue with the GitHub part now. So till now, you have seen how Git can be used locally in your laptops, but now we'll see how Git is useful on a much larger scale. Okay, so GitHub. GitHub is a platform that was founded founded in 2008, which is currently the most largest and most famous platform where you can host your Git repository or Git projects. Okay, in a nutshell, you can push your code to GitHub's platform, and everyone can see your code, and you can also view other people's code and collaborate with each other. A common misconception is that GitHub is somewhat similar to Git, but that isn't the case. As Pradyuman stated, that Git is a software that tracks your project files, whereas GitHub is just a platform to host those projects. Okay, this might be confusing, but you do not need the GitHub to use Git, but you cannot use GitHub without Git. Uh, Dhrumal's screen isn't visible. Is it just me, or to everyone it isn't visible? Okay, it's visible. Why is GitHub so popular? Because it provides so many functionalities on top of Git. Okay, it has a great UI and lots of many features as pull request, bug tracking, and feature request, etc., which we will just show in just a couple of minutes. So I think Romel can take over and show you GitHub part. Romel.
So hi everyone, this is the GitHub command. This is the GitHub website where we actually view the GitHub. You can see your profile here. By this you can see there is a tab known as a repository. This is the basic general view. This is the basic general view of the GitHub, and you can view profiles here, for different profile. You can see Nisarg's profile here using this. In this way, you can also view the repositories which they have uploaded into the GitHub, and then you can collaborate. Then you can view the code, and then in general you can commit and collaborate with Nisarg and Nisarg's repository. Okay, so this is basically the GitHub. Now let's create a repository and helps you to host your website. So let's create a new repository and let it name in a such a way that the repository name in a such a way that you use the following for syntax: the username.github.io. So the username should be your username. Like like for example, I have a username known as a Western. So you can use that particular. let's create a new repository where the name stored as the format of the repository name should be the username.github.io, where the username stands for your username. For example, my username in the GitHub is Vistal. So this way you can create a repository naming this way, vistal.github.io. Let us give a brief introduction to my portfolio. So hi everyone, we have just created a new repository. We have just created a new repository in the GitHub and naming it the vistal.github.io. And it should be according to you, the username of yourself. For example, for Nisarg's account, it would be nisarg73.github.io. And let's first of all, let's copy this URL. And I would explain you some of the GitHub commands, Git commands through which you can interact with GitHub. So the GitHub the commands which are useful are mostly this: git clone, git remote, git push, and git pull. So what the git clone command does is actually copies the repository, the repository hosted in the GitHub. For example, we have a template set for you. We have written a template for you through which you can create your own website. Git Workshop template 2020. So what you will do is like just go to this file, add file. What you will do is that with this file, just run this particular command in a particular repository. Just run the command. So what it does, it just copies this particular repository, into your local. As you can see, if we just change the directory, as you can see that it consists of the same number of files and the same files which were there present in it. So you can using the git log command the commits which were previously done commits into the system. So what you have to do is that open the index.html page using any favorite text editor. Open it. For example, I would use my Sublime Text. And using this following comments as a helpful term, you can fill the following details in this particular template. For example, the name should be converted into the student's full name. For example, for me, it's Patel Drumin. Just change the template, the regions where the template it should be changed. For example, I'm studying here presently. I am in junior, so you can for you it would be basically the freshman. and you can use that GitHub username, which I just told you. To obtain the GitHub username, you can actually go to your profile and you can view view the username using this following thing. So just change it to the it. Now what you will do is that git edit, as explained by uh, Pradyuman. We will just add all the changes and move it to the staging area, and we will commit it. So as explained that there is a git clone command and one of the other commands which is the git remote command. What the git remote command does is actually uh, put a variable. Git remote command helps you to maintain connection with other repository. The remote serves as a convenient name of a not so convenient URL. So what does actually mean? As you can see that the URL which your repository, the username.github.io is created, it's kind of weird to use it every time. I'm saying about this URL. So what we do using the git remote command, we set a variable which consists of the following URL. So what it does, it's like we can say git add git remote add my portfolio. So what it does it sets the my portfolio variable with the following GitHub URL. You can view the git remote using git remote -v. So as you can see that my portfolio variable stores the following git URL. Okay. So what I will do, as I have committed my changes, as you can see, the fill all the necessary details commit has been put into the logs. So what we will do, we will just push the push my code into my portfolio and post it into the master branch. So actually, this particular command will take all my changes and put into my repository, which I mentioned here, which you created. As per now, you can see that we have changed that particular repository and we have filled all the details. Now let's let the GitHub do its work, and it will be hosted in 5 to 6 minutes. Now you can view the So probably I left the profile pic. So to extract the profile pic, what you can do is that you can go to the URL, you can inspect the element. So you can open this following terminal, following panel using Control Shift I. So Control Shift I, you can use this material. So now you can inspect the particular element, and then using this particular by using this element, you can extract the URL. And tada, you can view the profile. So what you have to do, it's just go to the template and just switch it, add the SRC to the change to the template. Now let's do the steps again. So as we have stated the changes and we have committed the committed all the changes and we have updated the profile pic, we'll push the code. So what actually the push command does is it's basically takes your changes and push into and updates the repository which is which is like pointed by this particular remote, and this is the master branch. These are some reference material through which you can learn more about Git, and this is the one of the URL which you can follow to learn more about HTML, CSS, and other programming tools. So thank you for the presentation. So if any doubt, you can ask in Discord again.
We'll be sharing all these resources in the Discord's resources channel. And if you guys have any doubt, you can still post them on the Discord. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.